Welcome everyone to All the Things with Ashley. We are recording different interviews with people in the senior care industry, people who are working with providers, everyone who is servicing our most marginalized populations, our elderly, our disabled, those with intellectual disabilities. So on today's episode, we have Dr. Fronce Barnes. Dr. Fronce Barnes owns Kearney Compounding Pharmacy in Mesquite, Texas. He has been a proponent of getting out there and getting it. Every time I see him, he is busy, he is working, he is networking and meeting new people. So I'm glad that he is with us today. I'm going to ask him to introduce himself and give us all of his great background. And then we'll get into some questions. Okay. All right. So Dr. Barnes. I
All
love
right. Hey, how you doing today? So yeah, I'm Dr. Barnes with Kearney Park Compounding Pharmacy. We're a full service pharmacy. So just comparison to like Walgreens and the CVS's, we do everything they do, but a whole lot more. So compounding is kind of like our bread and butter, and also assisted living facilities. So we kind of cater to those clients as well as all the other people too that a normal Walgreens or CVS will service.
So, since you are familiar with long-term care and you've been working in this industry serving everyone, but particularly with your experience with long-term care facilities, what are the unique needs and challenges that you see long-term care facilities face compared to other healthcare settings or just individuals out in the community?
Great question. So in my experience, I've learned that in the long-term care facility, medication part of that equation is usually the most nerve-wracking to most of the owners or the facilitators that run it. It's a lot of unknown with medicines. It changes frequently, with people insurance and the different rules regarding those. So being a good partner or having a good partner with the pharmacy side is really helpful. For instance, the way the meds are packages in the regular pharmacy world, regular world, we do it in bottles. Some people in assisted living still get it in bottles, but we have a way to make it easier for inventory. We have these things called blister pack. We can blister packs your meds, where it'd be a quick visual count, so you can know how much meds you have when it's time to do refills and things of that sort. But the same situation with new rules coming out now, they want certain nursing professionals to pass medicines out of those bottles and even these type of blister packs. So great thing about it being like a pharmacy consultant person, it's technology out there, these new blister packs that allow you to get around that legal precedence that was recently founded. And we do these type of stuff for facilities. So really makes it easy, even if they're on the go, like going to daily daycares. You can actually rip these little things off and send it with the patient, and it has a list of what the meds have on there.
Okay.
So those are huge areas that makes a lot of issues for AL owners.
Would you say that that's one of the services you offer that improves resident outcomes and the facility's efficiency?
Yeah, that's just one of the actual services we offer. Yes, ma'am. When we process your meds, we can make Mars for you, so you don't have to spend time writing out all those things. It's pre-printed for free every month, since we service your meds. Another big point, is immunization clinics. A lot of people don't understand about those shots. And it's easy to have a pharmacist go through your people's profiles, see what shots they are approved for or what Medicare will want them to have, and then go to your facility and administer those shots. It's a really big thing because it's not only protect your residents at your facility, it protects your workers, it protects you, by not having those viruses or ailments in the store. And also it just helps keep people from coming in and out dealing with those problems in which people may have not got if they did more preventative services. It makes sure your resident, live longer in theory, right? Healthier, which help decrease that quality of service or that requirement on your part from your employee standpoint to help service that residence too. So, the shots are another big part that we can do to help our owners and really give a lot of wellness, a lot of reward to helping with those residents.
Okay. So do you also offer rapid influenza testing?
Yes, ma'am. Not only just the flu testing, but also COVID.
Okay.
We actually prefer to do the PCR because it's better than that rapid. So we actually send it off, and it takes about 24 days to get it back. Because what the issue is, you would do a rapid test and get a false positives or false negatives, where that PCR is going to be a more standardized test, which is just like the clinics. We can send a representative there, test your residents or employees. Insurance pays for it. So with COVID, we set up these testing programs when the COVID outbreak was going on to help facility owners have a protection plan for the state too, to how they're handling those pandemics. And I think that's really a big part. It's just being a consultant, somebody you can call. Hey, I have this health issue or these things going on. Or like when COVID came, we was able to do the testing program. We even helped destroy people meds. Hey, Dr. Barnes, I got all these meds that's been DC. We'll destroy your meds for you. That's another big issue for a lot of AL owners. So stuff like that. I'm like a comprehensive with that pharmacy drug part. So it's not just shots. It's not just blistering your meds. It's a full service program that we try to do so you can focus on what you do.
I love that. You actually answered two of my questions because I was going to ask, do you do medication destruction? Because I have clients who ask me all the time, do you do med destruction? My pharmacy won't destroy meds. And so that will be another boost for me to say, hey, you need to go talk to Dr. Fronce. Okay.
Yeah,
you need to go to Kearney Pharmacy.
We want to do everything. We know those problems that you have. We know that those pharmacies just want to send you these meds and don't want to deal with it afterwards. And we want to be a full service partner in your program to help out. So if there's other things that come up, which I'm sure it will, and we'll make solutions for those when they come our way.
Awesome. One of the things that I'm constantly going back and forth with other community owners, providers, is do I have to delegate my staff to pass medication? Typically because of having to take the pills out of the pill bottles. So I wanted to double back to what you were saying about the blister packs, especially those blister packs that you have multiple medications in.
Yeah, this is called Dispel. So now they don't have to worry about doing those type of things. So like you can literally, all the morning meds are in one, and then the bedtime meds is in another one. So when we're talking about time that takes to do it, it's literally pulling this, giving it to your resident, telling them to take their meds. It's already taken care of. That's the cool thing about it.
Okay. And I'm assuming in all of those things that you were referring to, you also would give consultations on med interactions. So a lot of our seniors are taking crazy amounts of medications.
Right.
And many of them do have counter indications to each other. So do you consult or offer any type of services from that perspective?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Every med we feel we blister, we take that in consideration. Now, I can give another one, Ms. Hill, on how people have issues. It's when they feel like a cheaper alternative is to buy some of those over-the-counter meds on their own and don't let the pharmacy do it. So there's three problems with that scenario. We don't put them in your blister packs, which makes it easier, helps saving time. Also, too, we don't check for the interactions because we don't have any record of that stuff that you're buying on your own. And that's really like a liable situation, right? So it kind of also helps It won't show up on your MAR. So whenever you're putting it on, now it's a place for you to write it on there. No worries. But that's a big thing that we can do to help out is to check for interactions to make sure that when we're servicing your meds, even if you're just using us for flu clinics, but once we have your information in, your residence in, it's easier to add on these services. Say, hey, you did some clinics, but can you go and start servicing my patients? Because I want those blister packs you were speaking of. It's really easy to transition this stuff over and allow us to do those checks where I put myself on the line or my license on the line to make sure that everybody is getting what they need.
Okay. Okay. So one of the things that I have been thinking more of and have been asking even of myself is how am I going to use technology to better assist my clients? So do you have any plans or any thoughts on how you'll use technology in the future to assist your clients?
Oh wow, we're using technology now. We already implement AI in pharmacy processing and dispensing with the compounding that we're already doing now. Of course, with marketing, even doing these Zoom meetings. This was another opportunity that we never really had before. So I love too to have some of these with residents, owners, maybe doing some in-service educational talks where we can educate people about how this insurance work or why they copays are not this price now, and then at the end of the year it's a different price when you have this donor hole. Or what's the difference between why Medicaid won't pay for these over-the-counter meds? For some medications, it will. So a lot of that stuff changes too. And I feel that we can be a good resource because the education is the huge part of it, because then I can give you an example. We had one lady that her insurance wouldn't pay for this fish oil pill. But we can get the prescription version of it and the insurance will pay for it. So that helps alleviate the burden of the patient paying or coming up with a financial burden for the facility to cover it or make a decision of whether or not we cover this med or not or have it. It's just a big opportunity to just having someone about drug knowledge and also teaching it to your staff so you guys also become independent in this industry also that continues to change. So it's like a learning. We have to continue learning. So we want to not only do your servicing, but also be a resource for consultations or just sidebar talks to see what we can do to help out whatever situations that's drug or medication related.
What's the biggest issue you see in assisted living when it comes to medication?
You know, it's a new issue. I'm surprised that people aren't as concerned about the vaccines. A lot of people aren't becoming vaccinated, and if they are, they just doing the basic flu and COVID. Whereas it's a new pneumonia shot out there that literally is really great and works, helps add on to the previous ones they got, or the new RSV shot that helps protect against that respiratory virus. And like that's the key is I'm surprised that the facility owners is kind of leaving it to the patient and their family. And I just think it kind of opens up the door to have COVID in your facility or flu in your facility. Or if it does come, it doesn't stay very long because everybody is vaccinated through. And I guess I'm just surprised that I think that the owner's perspective kind of look at it maybe as, hey, is this another thing I have to deal with? But this thing is something that your pharmacy partner should handle. And then another thing too, is going to actually decrease your workload by not having to deal with extenuating circumstances from those problems. Like, calling the ER, having doctors running in and out of your place, or even having state coming by if you had too many outbreaks, So it's just it's just something that I was really surprised that, because, it's no cost, it's free. It's no charges. It requires nothing, probably some Tylenol past before or the day of when I come by. And then other than that, we're back. We're just waiting on protection. And if anything, it shows everybody I've done everything I can do to protect your loved one while they're living in our facility. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. My grandmother is in the facility. She's been in
Okay.
there since May. And I am actually going to refer her, the owner of that facility, to you, because I would love for my grandmother to receive your services.
Yeah.
Right now we're dealing with CVS, but I want a pharmacy that will serve her. I want a pharmacy that cares about her, that cares about her well-being. And I love the answers that you've given so far, just because they're centered around the well-being of our community as a whole. And I don't think there's enough attention to that, specifically on the I'm calling it infection control because my compliance brain sees it that way. But when you have outbreaks, you really do open up a can of worms for your facility, your staff, your resident. And yes, you do invite Health and Human Services to be in your facility at that point. But that's a lack of those three P's: preparedness, protection, and prevention. And so I really appreciate that you focus on those things. With that being said, how or what in the pharmacy industry would you change as a whole that would help providers or individuals become better educated?
We need some consistency. They cutting reimbursements on the pharmacy side, on the medical side, on the AL side, and it's making us be more, even though this is a business, like I'm in this for business, you guys are in this in business. And the key is, I feel like in this health industry, they keep adding more and more stuff we got to do, but nobody is paying for this stuff. Yeah. But the key is that education piece. Like, for instance, you may not know that your pharmacy should be handling your meds being destroyed, or you should be dealing with a pharmacy that print your Mars or blister your meds, or do testing programs. But it's easy and convenient to just, hey, family, you deal with it. We got to have their meds here. And it's never an issue until an issue comes. And then when everything get reviewed, that's when it becomes a problem. It's just so much easier, I believe, if I had to stay here at my place and I call, hey, Dr. Barnes, can you send me over all my immunization records? Our computer is down. Okay, cool. No worries. And we'll fax it right over. Like, that's the difference from having to do correction plans and even having licensure issues. And, like I said, people don't ever have issues until it's an issue. And I know one thing about it. You can't even talk to Walgreens and CVS to get them on the phone.
No, you cannot.
So I can't get them to do nothing extra, like faxing you a record, which they ain't going to do, right? I can't even get them on the phone to ask about that question. I have to go up there, wait 30 minutes in line. And, I can tell you, people don't appreciate us until you have to deal with those issues at Walgreens. And it's every month. It's always something. And they're betting that you won't deal with it either, right? Or you'll just keep on coming back because you don't know about those other options. And I'm glad Miss Ashley had me today to let everybody know about what's going on and what your options are that's already free to you guys anyway.
Do you have a specific example of how you worked with the assisted living facility to help them overcome those compliance challenges as well as maybe those infection control challenges?
Oh yeah, just past, like I said, back when the COVID outbreak hit, we was doing the flu and testing programs. We also set it up where if somebody had a positive test or symptoms of the test, we would immediately do another testing. So we had a preventative measure where we just tested once a month to make sure nothing is wrong, but also if somebody was, exposed to it, like the questionnaire that we had to, when people come in your facilities, you have to have them answer all those questions. If they actually said yes on some of those, we can set up a testing program to get that done out. Also, too, we set up documentation. So like to be all electronic and using technology. So basically when you get your testing, your results go directly to this box that you guys have in your email for testing of your residents. And we will still reach out to you guys and say, hey, you have a positive. But if you don't have anything issues, you won't need to be notified. You won't have to spend that time checking those emails for those results. Another reason is it's your pharmacy responsibility to say, hey, you have a positive one on there. Let's send the on-site doc to do the house calls and get them some of the Paxlovid or whatever people want to do, the Tamiflu, if it's flu. So it's just we have those problems all the time. And I'm just happy to be a resource. Most of the owners literally just text me and get answers to your questions. So now we're not even calling any pharmacy phones, like, let me just text Dr. Barnes and he'll handle it. So, and that's what we've done, and kind of be an extra safety net that helps out the the AL owners so they can do their, focus on filling up their facility. Imagine you can have more people in there if you're doing less work to take care of them. Exactly. And that's what these Blister does. That's what us doing the Mars for you. That's adding more time to you so you can, be an AL owner.
Yeah, I like that. I do. I love that. Especially since a lot of times it's the managers that are taking on that responsibility on top of managing staff, making sure residents are okay, managing kitchens, all of those other things. So I do love that it alleviates something from the assisted living facility provider or the long-term care provider, whomever you're serving. Okay, so we're getting towards the end of our interview. What would you want to leave with us, or what do you want to impart with the long-term care community that you feel is the way for us to move forward and to be better professionals?
Ashley, I would say, hey, we got to get us in order for us to grow, in order for you guys to grow, everybody to grow, you have to have a great team around you. And your teammates should do something and help do stuff to help your vision. Help you achieve your goal. If you're doing it by yourself, and some places like Walgreens and CVS, these people aren't on your team. These are folks that's letting you do it, and then you have to be your pharmacy teammate or hire somebody else to handle that. Like, my thing is, get you a good team together. I would love to be a part of you guys' team. Use us to, bounce ideas off of, to handle your meds, do your clinics. You don't have to do all the services. You can do bits and pieces, or we can do it completely all. But it's just good to have another person that I can now reference. I don't have to make an appointment for. I can send a text message and try to get some answers to my questions, or to get some help from my teammate, right? And I think that Kearney Park Pharmacy, we're very good teammates, and I hope that we can help your team. We can be a part of your team and help you achieve and win, because when you win, the team wins, right? If you're doing great and you decide to open up 3-4 more of those locations, who wins too? Your team wins, because hopefully we'll help you grow. So we'll service those new places too, so you can continue doing more of what you're already doing. So I just would love to be a part of the team, and that would be my thing, is whatever you do, get you a really good team around you, and you'll always be successful.
I love that. Yes, sir. So I want to thank you for your time. I know you're busy. Dr. Barnes is busy.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time. I'm actually gonna post this to the socials and all of that other good stuff, and then I'll send it to you as well.
Okay.
So you'll be able to do what you want to do with it. Okay.
Thank you so much, Miss Ashley. And if there's anything you need help, don't hesitate to give me a shout. Okay.
Yes, sir. You have already been plenty of helpful. I appreciate our talks, the last few talks that we've had. You've done nothing but impart knowledge and wisdom, and I appreciate you for being the professional you are, but also just being a good dude. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. You have a great day. Okay.
You too.